Hey everyone, so actually I'm redoing this one because I had a little interruption from my dog who got nervous here. So this video is going to be about if you're in a recent new relationship, and I want to say no more than 2 months, so a month, 2 months, that you guys are recently getting to know each other, or how is your next relationship going to be? So again, this is going to be, if you're in a new relationship, how is that relationship, going to go? Give you a little insight information on your person. Or how will the next relationship or the next person who comes into your life be? Okay. So we got three options here. I had already shuffled and got these ready, so they're ready to go. First option is the skull. Okay. Second option is the Fortuna. So you can take a look. She has an interesting story. Third one, the Pyramid. Okay. Thank you for everyone who's subscribing. Don't forget to keep, liking the videos, commenting, and sharing. If you need more time to focus, don't forget you can always pause the video. So you can, take a deep breath and take which option calls out to you first. All right, so let's go with the skull. The first option. So this option is someone who is recently left a situation, okay, whether it be financial, has been focusing more. They could have recently moved to the area for a job, or they could have recently made a job change. They're in the middle of, they recently got out of a situation, okay? But be careful. This person is, I don't want to say sneaky, but they can be, okay? It might be they're hiding some truths about themselves, and it may not be a bad thing. They just have their guard up. But I definitely see another change coming for them. So it's a situation where you need to be careful. This person will run from too much questioning, run from, if you go too fast, do your research still, I would say, because you never know. Nowadays, when dating on via social media, you don't know who you end up with. And I would have to say, if you have a gut feeling that something seems off, it probably is. In this particular case, I see a little bit of, I don't really want to say sneakiness, but it can be. It's like they're hiding a few things. And that's something you need to find out. It may be that they are finishing a relationship. They could have been married and separated in the process of all that. They could also be getting out of a long-term relationship or not over with it yet. Okay. But unfortunately, nowadays we need to do our research, okay, on people, because it is what it is. You don't know who you end up with. Social media has made it a platform to make easy for those who like to cheat, those who are manipulators and liars. And also, there are some good guys out there, but in the majority of the times you need to make sure it's like they still have something that's unresolved or something still pending that they're finishing, okay? They haven't left fully a situation yet. And it may be because it's a financial, okay? It's a situation here where you need to be careful, because let's just say they haven't been completely forthcoming or truthful of everything about themselves, okay? So I hate to say do a little bit of research, but yeah, you need to be a little bit on guard on this one. Again, it may not be a bad thing. They may be just afraid that you won't, if they're in the middle of divorce or separation still, or they're stuck with the situation. Sometimes we meet the right person at the wrong time, and that might be something that is going on here, that there is someone that they're still finishing up, tying loose ends, or they may be in the middle of some type of job that they really can't talk about, okay? And this is something that you got to focus on what your intuition and your balance says. And if you start seeing the first signs, honey, move on. Don't waste any time on it, okay? Because the last thing you need is some more heartbreak or something that's going to keep, causing you stress and the wondering. believe me, it's not worth it. When you have that gut feeling, sometimes you need to follow it. And you need to, see what you can find out yourself. There's always red flags that come very clear. And we may like the person and choose to ignore it, but deep down inside we know. So the last thing you want to be is the third, be in a love triangle. That's the last thing you want to be in. Or if it works for you, then good. I'm not one to judge, trust me. It happens. You can meet a person. And my particular, when I was in the middle of my divorce, I had met someone, and not that I was looking to cheat on them, but I just was still living with my ex, even though there was, believe me, nothing on. It was just we had to get out of a lease. But I didn't dare take the risk because, I knew that it could cost me a lot down the road. So keep your eyes open on that. See, do some, I hate to say do some homework yourself, but only if you feel that something's not right, okay? All right, let's go with the next ones. Second option, Fortuna. All right, second option here. This one was, now that I'm remembering how the card order was on these. This is a person who recently just probably, if this is a new relation, started getting out dating again. This is a person who has suffered a lot of heartbreak or recently got out of a relationship, I would say within the past 2-3 months. This is a person who, two of the times of his relationships, they left him or her. Because again, we're neutral here, because it could be a guy who's getting the reading, it could be a girl who's getting this interactive reading. And that's weighed on them. It's giving them a little bit of trust issues, and it's something that you need to take your time with, okay? Their fear is they get attached and the person's going to take off. It could be in the fact that they left a relationship that just wasn't good too, and so their guard is going to be up. It's not that they're a bad person. It's just that they've lost so much because of this relationship, previous relationships in the past, and it's a situation where they may be trying to, restabilize for that. And they're going to have their fears. So they may distance themselves a little bit because of fears of getting too close and giving in. I would definitely take your time in this relationship, get to know them. Everything in the beginning is nice and new, but you really need to get to know each other and understand that this person has been through heartbreak and may have that fear, okay? And, they could have been in a relationship that the person before was extremely jealous. So any type of jealousy, we're all jealous by human nature. I don't care who says they're not, but there's always something that may cause some conflict with you guys, okay? So what I'm seeing here is a person who was, kind of stuck in the situation, kind of thrown upside down, has their guard up. But once you get past those barriers, then love begins, and it can be a very fruitful relationship. I also feel that this person lost a lot financially. So they may be in a tough financial situation, so you're going to have to be a little understanding. They may not financially be able to, go and spend in expensive places or restaurants, or actually, buy you flowers all the time, or whatever the situation is. So you're going to have to be understanding. We're in 2020, and let's face it. I don't, we're usually, the man has to pay for everything, or whatever, the main person in the relationship. That's kind of changed. Sometimes it's not bad to offer to pay half, or for you to also pay. Don't let them take advantage, but you need to be understanding that in their financial situation, they could have recently gotten out of a divorce. They could have recently, a long-term relationship and lost financially a lot. They could have lost a job too. They may be in a tough financial situation, which doesn't make them a bad person, but this person will recuperate, okay? And will be able to have their, material prosperity and spiritual growth too. Once they get past that hurt, once they get healed from that, and they feel that they can trust you and see that you're different, then you're definitely going to be able to go forward, okay? And it's going to be something that you guys can grow together. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to keep a little bit on the cautious side of spending and taking your time, okay? You guys are going to have a lot to prove to each other. And it may be that you are the one who's also been in this situation, who might be the one who's fearful. And this person will be understanding. Okay, so again, it could go both ways on any one of the sides. But in this particular case, I see a person who has dealt with a lot and is afraid. So you're going to have to deal with those obstacles, but also financially, maybe a little bit having some temporary setbacks. This is not something that I see long term for this person going through, but patience. Okay, third one, pyramid. Let's go. Okay. This person particularly, whoever, if you're with them now or you're gonna, the next one is going to have, it's going to be restricted. And when I mean restricted is they probably have some issues. Okay. It could be that they have some small children that they're after a recent separation or divorce, or from a previous one, who knows how long it could have been, but they still have some small children. They could have the responsibility of, parents, certain family members, a lot of complications in that aspect. It could also be work is very demanding, that they work very long hours. Okay. It could be that, because again, this is a person who's up late at night. It could be that they work different shifts from you. They work, something about work is got them, or something in their life takes a lot of time from them sometimes. And, they could be military and then all of a sudden are on active duty, or they get called for whatever reason, or they have training. They could have a job that requires them to travel. This could be a person that has to travel a lot. So they're going to be a little bit out of the loop. Whatever it is, I see they carry a burden with them, a responsibility that is a little tough. Now, there are some situations that I have seen where family is controlling. In other words, their family are the ones who decide everything, for them, or influence everything. And that can be a problem, okay? Because I've seen some relationships break over because of family being so controlling. It can be a controlling mother. It could be, they're the older sibling, so they're responsible for the family because it's a cultural thing. It could be also the fact that, that they do have small kids and anything can happen and they need to be there for their kids. So in this particular case, I'm not going to say you're going to be number one. I do know that they have or will have current, good intentions of wanting the opportunity, but you're going to have to be understanding that they come with baggage and they come with responsibilities that it's not something they can get out of all the time, or it may call them away at last minute. You may have plans and something comes up and they have to go. So can you really handle that? That's something for you to think about. Are you going to be able to handle that? Or are you a busy person enough yourself that it's not really going to phase you? Something to consider. Okay. I mean, overall, it can work out, but is that something you're really, willing to deal with? Because this is a person who has a lot of responsibilities. Okay. Has, situations, but here's a benefit. I've had clients who, I want a man with money. They get a man with money, but then they're complaining that they're working all the time. Well, that's what happens in these particular cases, okay? And then they have a man or they want a man who's with them 24/7, but the guy doesn't work or has nothing to do, and then they're the ones footing the bill for different things. So there's, give or take here. You're going to have to decide what is it that you really want, and you're going to have to be understanding in that situation because they are going to be tied to a lot of responsibilities. So again, how much can you handle if their family needs them, if it's aging parents? And I'm not against, the family obligations and stuff. It's just that, again, I have seen some good relationships that have broken up because the family has been involved, criticizing or getting in between the relationships, getting in between couples, or trying to force a relationship that has been ready to end. But because they don't like to tell what's going on, the family's taking the side of the other, not realizing that this person is miserable. Okay. So sometimes that's a situation where the person, you have to weigh it out here. What I can tell you is they have some obligations here. It could be just work. It could be military duty. It could be travel obligations. It could be small children. Again, how much can you handle? So is there a good opportunity for it? Absolutely. But are you willing to be sitting alone sometimes where you know, that you don't need that much attention, or that you're going to be understanding enough that plans are going to change. You know, that's what's going to happen. I don't see that it will be intentional, but it's just things can change, you know, at last minute. Are you going to be okay with having alone time? And for some people, it's the perfect relationship. They want to have that relationship, but they want their alone and freedom, you know, to do what they want and go out with other friends and not have someone that they need to be watching, you know, every single day. In some cases, those relationships work, you know, because it's up to you. So, you know, my advice to you is you're going to have to really evaluate what is it that you want and what can you handle and what you can't do. Because there are people who love the freedom. Yes, I like to have someone who will take me out once in a while, but I like to be alone the rest of the time and do my own thing. So perhaps that will work, and others won't be able to handle that. Last minute plans got canceled, or to have to be alone, and that they're, you know, you're gonna have a video or telephone texting relationship versus an actual in person. So hopefully this helps, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next interactive.